just a small remnant of them. We actually have 50 in our choir, and this is just a smaller group of those that were able to come today. And we thank you for the honor and blessing we have of being here. Our hymns are the traditional Christian hymns that have been with us for a long, long time. And the songs that you're going to hear, the first one will be Hallelujah in our Muskogee language, or the language of the Muskogee Creek and Seminole tribes. You will also hear Choctaw 21, and it's How Can You Hate the Savior who has done so much for you? And the third one will be a song called Orphan Child among the Cherokee. these women today in their traditional dresses, I want you to recognize each tribe that I say. So I'm going to ask each of the women to raise their hand when I call the tribal name, so that you can know who the dress to which that tribe belongs. Okay? Seminoles. We don't sing individually. Each of us have learned over the almost 20 years to sing each of our hymns together, so that's what makes us a choir. We used to sing, each tribe would sing theirs individually, but we found ourselves each wanting to learn the other guy's songs. So we started learning each other's hymns, and that's what we do today. We're going to sing a hymn that's pretty much about what we're about here today, and it's a Cherokee hymn. And because even though we are Native American, we live in a land that calls us together in unity. God bless America, right? So we're going to sing a Cherokee hymn, I'm Building a Bridge. Very difficult time retaining our languages. And that's one of our points of emphasis among our choir, is that we want to keep our language as best we can. And the best way we can do it is by singing the hymns that were taught to us. All of these women that you see standing here heard these hymns as we grew up from our moms and our dads and our grandmas and our aunts and our uncles and our grandpas. Well, they sang that, they spoke the language every day on a daily basis in their homes. We would hear them, and the generations that are coming after us don't know, they no longer are afforded that luxury. We don't have that because of as gradually being lost. So that's one of our missions, is to keep that by singing our traditional Christian hymns that were passed on to us. And we're trying to bring the younger ones to us to have an interest in learning these hymns. So we took a hymn that's familiar, the contemporary song, and we put our native mark on it, I guess you'd say. And it's called Amazing Grace, My Chains Are Gone. And you will hear us sing it in the Muskogee language and the Choctaw language.
ladies. Wonderful.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be led in prayer by the beloved man of the Eastern Band of Cherokee, Jerry Wolf.
Thank you. It is good to be here. Our grandpas and grandmas had many ways of praying. They did it by song, they did it by word of mouth, they did it by smoking the peace pipe, they did it by beating the drum. As you beat the drum, the sound goes up. In that sound is a message to our Creator. Now, when Jesus was here on earth, he said, when you pray, this is the way it will be. Then he said, Ogi daughter, Kalanati, Kalagwati, you get sesti, that's no I. Lego Skinello Jaleli, Nagago, Skidan Elana, Dot Wisa, or Jaleli. Do you, yes, sir, or see, we go Skinel. Squeal to the least. The gods on that on, Nolan on that on, get Sasko, Talu Testy. Let's go, or see, Eagle Stiske says, on it down, Elohim. Off when I got stuck. Let's go, a guy is an adult, June Saniki else, that all is testing. All it, Ogi one is the all ski noise has. Ski say has the let's go, ski a young scasty, school yogi westy, or see, you got this say. Squatini says the Yehovah, hello the guy Israel. Shivani Galeyuaya, Salani Kidini. Nego hila, Shistelis Gestiogo. Nego hila, Shistelis Gestiogo. Ski. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is John Chirkwood. And I have the privilege today of introducing our honored guest. Today we will conclude the beginning of a portion of a heartfelt goal by dedicating a statue intended to show respect and honor of people and culture that lived in these mountains, I'm told, since the beginning of time. I've been fortunate to see this effort from its beginning and know there's no possibility in thanking everyone or showing the admiration publicly for the work or contributions made by so many. At the start, people like Renee Dybert, Toby Chandler, Patrick Malone offered a direction for our efforts. Our Chamber of Commerce, local businesses, our city and local government, the county, were always there offering a helping hand. And in the final time, people like Darren Harper, Judah Lanier, Kathy Garrett, Lori Burke, and so many more took on fundraisers and worked so hard to bring us to the point where we are now. Your presence today marks an achievement in our efforts. And each one of you honor our community with your presence. You will determine if our goal was achieved. You will determine if our effort was fitting and proper. You will be the elders. You will be the storytellers. I'm told many here have ancestors from this area. To all here, welcome home. Our first speaker today is Jim Collins, the mayor of Blairsville.
Thank you, John. It's an honor for me to play a small part of this festivities, honoring all of our Native brothers and sisters back home once again. I'm very humbled with this. It's my heart to your heart. We welcome you back to the city of Blairsville and to Union County. Thank you.
Our next speaker is our sole commissioner for Union County, and in so many ways he's been so instrumental in bringing this to pass. Lamar Paris. Please welcome Lamar Paris.
Thank you all very much for being here. It is a great day in Union County, and we ordered this weather especially for you.
Way to go, Lamar.
All right. I could not be more proud as the Union County Commissioner to have our county be the centerpiece of participation of this historic occasion and celebration, which represents previous Georgia Native American lands. We particularly want to welcome all Native Americans from all over this country. This day is dedicated to honoring you as you return to Georgia to honor the 200th anniversary of the Treaty of the Cherokee Agency. Second, I want to especially thank our We Are Still Here committee members who have been instrumental in making today possible with their dedication, determination over the past 3.5 years, doing a lot of work, originating as our leadership union class. This entire project is proof of the exceptional leadership that they have developed and that we have here in Union County. And again, I want to welcome everyone. I would like the leadership union class We Are Still Here group, if y'all would stand for us right now. Everybody that was a part of that. Thank you. I want to also recognize just a few other people. Renee Dibert with North Georgia Technical College. She's sitting over here on the far left, kind of being quiet, subdued, which is unusual. Regina Allison, our chamber director. At one time she was over in that area. I'm not sure where she is now. She's still over there. Wesley Ross, Hunter Hill representative. And then we got two people that are going to say a few words. Matt Gertler, our state representative from Rayburn County, and Joel Katz, who is Katz, because he said you can spell it K-A-T-Z or C-A-T-S, either way. So that way you remember his name. So Joel Katz is representing Congressman Doug Collins, and he'll speak second. And thank y'all again very much for being here.
What a great crowd. I want to thank Jim Brown and Kathy Garrett for coming to me this summer and introducing me to this project. I think this is great. I'm Matt Gertler, and I'm honored to be here. I want to thank everyone who made this day possible to unveil this awesome statue to honor the Cherokee and Muskogee tribes. For the first time in 200 years, this is the beginning of a concerted effort between the sovereign nations and our communities to acknowledge our shared history and to fuel an economic engine that enhances our region's growth. Once again, I'm honored to be a part of this effort. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much for inviting us to be a part of today's celebration. Y'all hear me now? Thank you for inviting us to be a part of today's celebration. On behalf of Congressman Doug Collins, I'd like to tell you what a privilege it is to serve a region as rooted in history as Northeast Georgia. We're gathered together at this site to recognize the Cherokee and Muskogee people's rich contributions to our heritage and to our future as a diverse community. Your connection to the mountains around us remains strong and instructive, and the title of the memorial we're recognizing today, Transcendent, reflects the spirit and fortitude of these Native American nations. Your history of perseverance is long, and your generosity in offering others a window into your heritage, as this weekend's events demonstrate, is remarkable. I have no doubt that this bronze statue will help inspire and educate Northeast Georgians for generations to come as they grow in appreciation of these Native American nations. I'm grateful to share in today's joy with you. Thank you.
Please join me in welcoming the Muskogee Creek Nation Deputy Chief Hicks.
First of all, I'd like to recognize a few people that came with us today. First and foremost is my wife, Gloria. She came with me and she goes every place with me, and probably couldn't go any place without her. She kind of keeps me straight. Also, our PR people that came today, we want to recognize them. They do a great job for us too, and they're really, really busy. Thank Mr. Wolf for the prayer and the ladies from the choir. We certainly appreciate them. Didn't the Creator give us a great day today? Amen. Good morning, my name is Lewis Hicks. I'm the second Chief of Creek Nation. On behalf of Principal Chief James Floyd and myself and the citizens, I'd like to thank you for allowing us to be here today for the unveiling of the statue, We Are Still Here. Chief Floyd sends his apology for not being here, but due to scheduling, and he's been on the road, and prior commitments, he just couldn't make it. But he is here, he will be here in spirit today, and he also wants to thank you for the invite for coming down. Again, it's a real honor for me to be here today for this unveiling, especially knowing the history, the suffering, the tragedies, the deceptions our tribe has faced and experienced in the lives that were taken during the period of what we call the Trail of Tears. I'd like to honor several people. First of all, I'd like to honor our ancestors and all of our ancestors who sacrificed for us, who brought with them from our original homelands to our new homes. The culture, our language, our fires, our songs, our medicine, and our religion, and our pride. We want to honor those ancestors for those things. Hopefully they can look down on us today and know that through resilience and through the Creator's help, know that we're still here. 4. Before I finish, I've noticed a few people in the audience wearing veterans caps. There's two groups that are especially dear to my heart, and we try to recognize them back home every time we get a chance, and that's our elders and our veterans. Thank you for your service. Chief Floyd asked me to read a proclamation and present this to the committee today, and so if you just hang on for a few minutes, I'll read this. It says, in support of the recognition of the dedication of the statue unveiling ceremony at Meeks Park in Blairsville, Georgia. And this is the proclamation. A proclamation by the Principal Chief of the Muskogee Creek Nation. Whereas, the Muskogee Creek Nation represents over 83,570 Muskogee citizens throughout the United States of America, and whereas, the Committee of Union Towns and Fannin County in Georgia will publicly recognize the fact that the Cherokee and the Creek tribes once dwelled there, and that many of their relatives are still here today. And whereas, a 10-foot bronze statue of the Native American stickball player designed by the renowned Pawnee Cherokee artist Daniel Horsechief of Sallisaw, Oklahoma, was commissioned for unveiling at Meeks Park in Blairsville, Georgia. And whereas, by increasing awareness from the individuals who disclose their Cherokee and Creek roots and how their ancestors went underground in order to stay in their native land, which is now Union County, and the surrounding area, will create remembrance to our ancestors. And whereas, the Muskogee Creek Nation government has worked diligently to protect its historical and cultural integrity. And whereas, this is the beginning of a concerted effort between sovereign nations and their communities to acknowledge and share history. And whereas, the statue will serve as a reminder of the rich native roots of our history. I, James R. Floyd, Principal Chief of the Muskogee Creek Nation, hereby support and recognize the efforts of the Committee Union Towns and Fannin County in Georgia for the dedication of the statue unveiling ceremony at Meeks Park, Blairsville, Georgia on September 21st, 2017, and will always remember the significant importance. I hereto set my hand on this seal on the 19th day of September 2017. James R. Floyd. I would like to make one presentation for our go-between in Oklahoma. I know I met her about 2.5, 3 years ago, and she has been an inspiration to us, but she has also been our go-between of coming down and being at this ceremony. And so I'd like to ask Miss Kathy Garrett if she would come, please. And have a great day. Thank you.
Join me in welcoming Deputy Speaker of the Cherokee Nation Tribal Council, Victoria Vasquez.
We have the sun in our back. You all look like you're kind of hot out there. OCO, hello from Cherokee Nation. I am Victoria Mitchell Vasquez, and I am descended from Anna Sixkiller Mitchell from Bonita, Oklahoma, who revived the art of Cherokee pottery in Oklahoma. And I'm also proud to be a potter, as well as Deputy Speaker of our Cherokee Nation Tribal Council. It is a beautiful day to celebrate our history, and
reconnect to our homelands. As the Deputy Speaker, I am honored to be here, and it is with pride that I represent the tribe and our Principal Chief, Bill John Baker. Sadly, Chief Baker is unable to attend, and I know he regrets missing such a historic gathering. As a student of history, he understands the importance of being and sharing the stage with elected leaders of the United Kituwa Band of Cherokee Indians, the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, and the Muskogee Creek Nation. Today is a wonderful partnership between our sovereign nations and the local communities here in Georgia to acknowledge our shared history. Before the Indian Removal Act, this was the home of our Cherokee ancestors. Cherokee Nation will always play a role in telling our story. Telling our history ensures it is preserved, that it is told accurately, and that it is passed down to future generations. That is important to us as Cherokee people, and it always has been. Our history in the Southeast is a critical part of America's history. From our great success there as society builders to the darkest chapters of the Trail of Tears, our tribal history is intertwined with the history of this country and multiple states, including Georgia, Tennessee, the Carolinas, and now Oklahoma. Our modern home is in Oklahoma, but we will never ever forget the Cherokees who preserved our customs, who carried our ways and our culture to Indian territory. Our mission today is to create services and programs for our 350,000 citizens nationwide, like healthcare, education, and housing. And we do so with one eye toward the future and one eye to the past, so that we always know and remember who we are and what it means to be Cherokee. The artist Daniel Horse Chief is a good friend and a renowned painter and sculptor. We are blessed to see his works around the Cherokee Nation, at our Veterans Center and at our high school. And he also just won first place recently at our annual Labor Day Cherokee National Holiday Art Show. Our good friend Chief Floyd was also a participant in those festivities, including the holiday parade, as was Mr. Sneed and his family. We appreciate that. Again, I want to thank you for this homecoming and the willingness to create long-term partnerships that benefit us all and shed a light on the history of our people in this region. Wadon.
Our next speaker is Chief Joe Bunch from the United Kituwa Band.
Osti Kosnale Nagad. Ayat the Gais. Aseskin Yodek, Takodoa, Joe Bunch. Aya, Ugamaya, and the Katuwa again. Hosta, Nagade Ilutza Ahan Kosnale. Hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dikaish, but in English it's Joe Bunch. I'm the chief of the United Kituwa Band of Cherokee Indians. That's what it would have been like 200 years ago. A language and a culture that sets us apart. But today we come together to visit and commemorate We Are Still Here. Nagade Sila Ulutsa Ahan. We are still here. Before I begin, I'd like to introduce someone that's very dear to me. First cousin from Oklahoma, although she migrated to North Carolina, but she just did it just the opposite, so to speak. Instead of coming from North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and that sort of thing, and going to Oklahoma, she came from Oklahoma to North Carolina. Arlene, would you please stand? Gerald, would you please stand? My cousin, my older sister, course, the contributor of this ribbon shirt that I have on today. All right. You're supposed to laugh at that, but now come on, folks, or did you not hear that? All right. First of all, on behalf of the United Kituah Band Council and tribal members, it's both a pleasure and honor to be here. Today, I thank the Lord, the town of Blairsville for this effort, Jim Brown for his inspiration in this event, dignitaries, guests, and guests. UKB, the United Kituah Band of Cherokee Indians, is synonymous with those settlers in Western Cherokee. Kituah is the name of an ancient village, our mother town, near Bryson City, North Carolina. In 2 weeks, we will be celebrating. We will be celebrating our 200th year. Now our history is a little bit different. In 1817, we signed a treaty with the United States and voluntarily migrated to, at that time, Arkansas, or present-day Arkansas. And turned around again in 1828, we migrated into Indian Territory, present-day Oklahoma. Today we have over 14,000 tribal population. We're a quarter degree in full-bloods, with at least 60% being full-blood. We live in a 14-county jurisdiction with our brothers, Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma. We represent one of 3 federally recognized Cherokee tribes in the United States. Preparing for this event was difficult. It was difficult. Considering what has happened over the past 200 years, a mark in the American history that without events like this may go forgotten. Remembrance of the time of hostilities and differences towards each other. Then I recall telling my children what the history book forgets. Telling of the issues that happened long ago. The need of land, the discovery of gold, Western expansion, our way of life exploited, Indian wars, great battles, massacres, trail of tears. The terms that define history was dependent on which side you were on, which side of that war you were on. So you see, that part of it was difficult. But truly, it is an honor and privilege to be here today. Yes, we are still here. In the valleys, the streams, the hills, both of our ancestors are buried in and all around our town here. We are alive and thankful for this occasion to celebrate who we are and where we come from. Before I leave, I'm just going to say this. Father, bless each and every one of us. But don't go here. Thank you until we see again. But don't.
Representing the Eastern Band of Cherokee, Councilman French. Please welcome Councilman French.
Good morning. Thank y'all for coming. First of all, I'd like to recognize again our beloved man, Jerry Wolf. Give him a hand. My name's Richard French, tribal council member representing the Big Cove community. I'd also like for y'all to give a hand to our stickball team, Kalanui from the Big Cove community I'll represent. Chief Sneed couldn't be here today, so he wanted to just let everybody know he was on business travel today, so I'm here representing the Eastern Band. Good morning. It's an honor to join you here today to commemorate an occasion which should never be forgotten. The signing of the Treaty of the Cherokee Agency marks one of the darkest chapters of our history, the removal of our people from our traditional homelands. Today is also, excuse me, important in our history because it celebrates our survival as Cherokee people who represent our individual nations. The Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians survives in a small portion of our lands just north, but we join our kin in Cherokee Nation and United Kiowa Bands of Cherokee in our shared love of our homelands here in the state of Georgia. In 200 years, many things have happened to our people, but many of the most important traditions have survived. We still maintain our Cherokee language, and our people are committed to furthering our efforts to support a tribal language school. We hold close many of our traditional lifeways. We rely on the mountains to provide food and medicine. We work to protect the environment which sustains by partnering with our neighbors to conserve traditional landmarks and ancient village sites. We work to bring back fish and animals which have suffered declines over the past 200 years. And we continue our stickball tradition. This celebration today brings our stickball tradition back to our homelands. The Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians is honored to join the Cherokee Nation and United Kiowa Band, celebrating our shared history and our shared future. We are still here. Ski.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Senator Hunter Hill, Wesley Ross will say a few words for us.
Hey everyone, welcome here. We thank y'all for coming back. Sorry, I'm a little bit tall. There we go. All right, yeah. So I'm representing Hunter Hill. He's a state senator. He's also running for governor. And when we got invited to come to this, he was really wanting to go, but he had a previous commitment, and so we wanted to send somebody for sure. And I'm from right over the mountain in Murray County. We have a lot of Native American influences on us, such as the Chief Band House, and I've always grew up there and seen all those influences all around me, just like y'all do over here on the other side of the mountain. So Hunter Hill, he's a veteran, and by being a veteran and serving 3 tours, he had a unique opportunity to serve everybody in this great country. You know, whether it's the natives or whether it's people who are living here now, and they gave him a unique opportunity to truly cherish all the people in this country, and he did it to serve everyone. And by saying that, he really did want to be here, and he hates that he couldn't attend. He did tell me to take some notes about the stickball game. He's a collegiate athlete itself at West Point, so he wanted me to watch it a little bit and try to take some notes for him, so maybe he can try to play that out later. But he did want me to just welcome all you back, welcome y'all home, and we thank y'all for being here in this great state. So thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we wake up every morning. We have an opportunity to do good things for our community. A couple of years ago, Jim Brown woke up and came up with this opportunity for us. The next speaker is Jim Brown. He started this whole project, and we're all real proud of him. Please welcome Jim Brown.
Chief Bunch, Councilwoman Vasquez, Councilman French, Second Chief Hicks, 11th Man Jerry Wolf. It is an honor to have y'all here today. It is an honor to have the Muskogee Nation, the Cherokee Nation, the United Kiowa Band, the Eastern Band of Cherokee, the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, the Chickasaw Nation of Oklahoma, and the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma with us today. This is y'all's day, and we are truly honored to have you here today. When we started this venture 3 years ago, we thought we were shooting for the moon. And it was Kathy Garrett who told me along the way that you're doing something that's much bigger than us. It's much bigger than anybody can dream of. You're bringing the nations home.
We filmed a video out here 3 years ago, and I mentioned that we were less than 2 miles from a Coosa village that's buried under Lake Nottely much of the year. And when we filmed that video, I said that there was a strange presence in the air. It was like you were being watched. And today I realized that if we go back up in these hollows and we go in these passes where their homes were, I think they'll notice that the ancient ones are beginning to awaken from their eternal slumber. That the little ones who we don't speak of, you can hear their footfalls of their moccasin feet and their laughter as they begin playing games and singing again, because they know the descendants of the ancient ones have returned home. We hope that this is something that we can continue to build upon, that you will continue to come home, that you will continue to recognize that North Georgia has not forgotten our original settlers. This is something that we want to build upon. We want you to restake your presence in North Georgia and all of the state of Georgia. We've all come here for something. For a lot of us, when we want to see home, we get on a plane and we go to Europe, we go to Germany, we go to Scotland, we go to Ireland, we see our great-grandparents' house. We go to a castle in Scotland. For a lot of our native neighbors, they come back to where they come from and they go to the Walmart parking lot. They go to the 3-story building in town. They go to a playground, and we laugh. But that's what's become of their homelands. I think it's pretty neat that those who once lived here come back. And if the ancient ones could stand here with them, they would probably tell them nothing has changed. Much of North Georgia is as it was 200 years ago, when the leaders of the Cherokee Nation and leaders from the Arkansas Cherokee joined together at New Eshota, and they signed the Treaty of the Cherokee Agency of 1817, and they relinquished their lands in Habersham, Gwinnett, Hall, and Walton counties. Not only is this a significant event that we brought them home, but it's significant in the fact that it's the first time they have been invited home in 200 years. I want to close, and in doing so, I want to hand the microphone off to Jerry Wolf. I've asked Jerry to come up and tell about the game of stickball, the history of stickball. At the end of which, Colin Nunny is going to play an exhibition stickball match for a few minutes. I think it's very important for those of us who've never seen the game of stickball to hear it from an elder's mouth of how the game is played and what it means. And then to see the game before we see the statue that Cherokee artist Daniel Horsechief so brilliantly cast for us. Mr. Wolf.
Thank you. Yeah, we still carry on with our old traditional stickball games. It's the oldest sport in America because we look back on history and we find that DeSoto in 1540 witnessed a game when he and his episode came through these mountains in search of gold. And so the stickball game was used in many ways. The winner would always make a decision of some kind of issue maybe that came up, and by playing the game that would kind of tell how it was voted in. The winner would tell the story of the issue. But 10 men to a team, and we're divided into 6 townships, and each township has ball team, and they challenge each other, and that's how they get the games going. 12 points through 2 little switches. You'll probably see them this afternoon when the game comes on. And when you pick the ball up with racket-type sticks, they're smaller than a tennis racket, then you must pick the ball up with the sticks, but you can transfer the ball into your hand, and you don't take but maybe 2 or 3 steps, and you're tackled. Now in football, we think it's a very rough game, but when they're tackled, they can get up and get into another play. But in the stickball games, they can continue to mash you on into the ground if they tackle you. So, and the game is, there's no time limit. Once the game gets started, it's a game until 12 points is made through the 2 uprights on each end of the field. Like one township will meet on one end of the field and the other township on the other end, and they come to the center ground. You'll see this whenever the game comes on sometime this afternoon, I guess is when it comes on. But anyway, the settlers came through the Great Smokies, and after the removal, of course, when they came through, and there was a stickball game taking place in Cherokee, where our hometown is now, and the settlers saw this game, and they said, "No, we've never seen anything like this before." And the old Cherokee man was sitting on the sideline. They walked over to him and they said, "Mister, when did you start playing this game? We've never seen anything like it." And the old man said, "It dates on back, on back." And he said, "It dates so far back that the animals of the forest had a ball team." Stood and watched it, and the old man continued to tell him the story. And he said the big bear was the captain of the ball team of the animals, the fast-running deer, the panther, the bobcat, the big wild boar, and the big wolf. All those animals are big and vicious and strong. So anyway, as the time went along, that's their yell. That's their yell before they match up. They do 4 yells each team, and then they match up. So anyway, from the mountaintop come a small animal. It was so small that he had to tap the captain of the bear on the toes to get his attention. Well, after they got the big bear's attention, he looked down and he saw this little animal that came off the top of the mountains and come down to join the team. And this little animal was the little mouse. And the rest of the team, of course, as I mentioned, their names. And he said to the bear, he said, "Hey, I come to join your team." When the big bear saw this little mouse wanting to play ball with him, he fell over laughing at that little mouse. And he finally gets up and he says, "I want you to tell me what in the world can you do in a ball game? Just look at you and look at your size. Then the big bear did something ugly. He took his big foot and he kicked the little mouse end over end out into the bushes. Well, the little mouse says there's no way to treat a person. Then he said there's another team afar, maybe they'll let me play on their team. So he walked for miles through the woods while he arrives, and he meets up with Captain Eagle, the fowl of the air. Captain Eagle had a ball team, and they were getting ready to have a ball dance. And the little mouse tells him what happened to he and the bear. And then he says, may I play on your team? Captain Eagle said, well, sure, we welcome you. Come on in. So, the eagle started to walk off, and then he thought for a moment, and he says, oh, we have a big problem. You don't have any wings. You would have wings to fly with us. They looked around real quick and found a piece of leather and some of the birds with the sharp beaks cut out a set of wings and attached them to the little mouse's sides. Then Captain Eagle grabbed him up and took him high up into the sky and dropped him. And that little mouse with the new wings come fluttering down and he could fly. Captain Eagle said, I'm proud of you. We're going to play the big bear tomorrow. Anyway, when tomorrow arrived for game time, they all matched up, all the speeches were made, and the ball was brought and put into play. It was threw up just like you do when you begin a basketball game. They have a center fighters, 2 center fighters. So before the ball ever hit the ground, the little mouse with the new wings came down and he grabbed that ball. And he went in and out amongst all those big paws that were trying to knock him down, to let him score, and to no avail. The little mouse with the new wings went on through, and he scored. And again and again and again, the little mouse scored. He dominated the game, and he said, the old man says, don't ever underestimate the size of a person or the looks of a person or whatever he can do. He said, don't ever criticize him, because if you do, they will always beat you. And so this little mouse beat the big bear that kicked him out into the woods and said, what in the world can you do in a ball game? To this day, we can look up just about dark of morning when it's getting daylight, or either in the evening when it's getting dark, you can look up and you can see that little mouse flying in the air. And he's going round and around. He still flies to this day. What do you think he might be? The bat. He's a little bat that flies. And that's the story of the old ball game. The turkey language used in these ball games. Oh, God, the ball is still there. Pick it up. Quick in. What you do? Come, throw the ball. So on. So language is used, and we try to keep it alive. And it's certainly good to be here, and certainly welcome every person that is here. We're all together. And I am a World War II veteran. I am returned home after 6 months of stay over Normandy Beach. They shipped me to Pearl Harbor from Louisiana. Anyway, halfway first A-bomb, August the 6th, 1945, on our way to Pearl Harbor. Then that didn't do, so the 9th, they dropped another bomb. And that's the one that they gave on. And I was there for the peace treaty signing. And as we watched, there was hundreds and hundreds of us, maybe thousands of us around the harbor for the peace treaty signing. And as we were standing there, someone happened to come behind me and touch me on the shoulder and said, "What are you doing aboard that ship?" They're signing some more papers. I don't know what they're doing. So that was it.
As you can see, an exhibition game's being played now. Please enjoy it.
Jill. How are you? Thank you. Better than we deserve. How are you? I borrowed it.
That's okay, I'll remember you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to have the unveiling. You can make your way up to the statue.